Welcome to my channel. This channel is dedicated to horror stories. The morning sun filters through the blinds, casting a warm glow across the room. I groan as I stretch, my limbs protesting the early hour. With a resigned sigh, I reach over to silence the incessant buzzing of my alarm clock. As I swing my legs out of bed, the weight of another mundane day settles on my shoulders. The routine is familiar: shower, coffee, toast, each action performed with robotic precision. But today, there's a sense of restlessness stirring within me, an itch I can't quite scratch. Downstairs, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee fills the air, mingling with the scent of toast and the faint hint of exhaust from the busy street outside. I pour myself a cup, the bitter liquid warming me from the inside out. But even its familiar comfort fails to ease the growing sense of unease. "Morning, Jacob," comes a voice from the kitchen doorway. It's Agnes, my roommate and closest confidant. Her eyes are heavy with sleep, but there's a warmth in her smile that momentarily lifts my spirits. "Morning, Agnes," I reply, forcing a smile of my own. But beneath the facade, my mind churns with unanswered questions, doubts that refuse to be silenced. "You are right?" she asks, her brow furrowing in concern. I hesitate, unsure how to put into words the turmoil swirling within me. "Just restless, I guess," I finally admit, my voice barely above a whisper. Agnes nods in understanding, her gaze sympathetic. "Well, whatever it is, you know I'm here for you," she says, her words a reassuring anchor in the storm brewing within me. I offer her a grateful smile, the weight on my shoulders momentarily lifted by her unwavering support. But as I finish my coffee and prepare to face another day, I can't shake the feeling that something beyond the ordinary is calling to me, beckoning me into the unknown. The city streets hum with the energy of another bustling morning as I make my way to work. People rush past me, lost in their own worlds, their hurried footsteps echoing against the concrete sidewalks. I blend into the crowd, just another face in the sea of humanity, but inside, a sense of disconnection gnaws at me. The aroma of freshly baked bread wafts from a nearby bakery, mingling with the sharp tang of car exhaust and the faint hint of coffee drifting from the street vendors' carts. It's a symphony of scents that should be comforting, familiar, but today it only serves to deepen my sense of unease. I quicken my pace, dodging around a group of tourists with oversized cameras dangling from their necks. The clock is ticking, and I'm already running late, a fact that only adds to my growing frustration. Finally, I reach the familiar facade of the restaurant where I work, its glass doors thrown open to welcome the morning rush. Inside, the chaos of the kitchen is already in full swing, pots clattering, knives chopping, voices raised in a cacophony of orders and instructions. "Jacob, you're late again," comes a gruff voice from behind me. It's Ethan, my boss and mentor, his brow furrowed in disapproval as he surveys me with narrowed eyes. "I know, Ethan, I'm sorry," I reply, my voice tinged with guilt. "It won't happen again." Ethan grunts in response, but his stern expression softens slightly. "Just get to your station and get to work," he says, his tone less harsh than before. I nod, grateful for his leniency, and hurry to my assigned station, slipping into the familiar rhythm of kitchen life. But even as I lose myself in the chaos of cooking, the sense of restlessness persists, a constant whisper at the edge of my consciousness. As the morning wears on, I steal a moment to catch my breath, wiping sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. That's when Agnes appears at my side, her expression sympathetic. "You seem off today," she observes, her eyes searching mine for answers. I shrug, unwilling to burden her with my inner turmoil. "Just one of those days, I guess," I reply with a forced smile. Agnes studies me for a moment, her gaze unwavering. "Well, if you ever need to talk, you know where to find me," she says, her words a silent promise of support. I nod in gratitude, the weight of her understanding easing the burden on my shoulders, if only slightly. But as I return to the relentless rhythm of kitchen life, I can't shake the feeling that something is brewing beneath the surface, something that threatens to upend the fragile balance of my routine existence. The day drags on, each passing hour marked by the relentless ticking of the clock on the wall. Despite my best efforts, the sense of restlessness that plagued me in the morning refuses to dissipate, lingering like a shadow in the recesses of my mind. As the lunch rush subsides, I steal a moment of respite in the back office, my mind wandering to thoughts of Valentine. Our relationship has been strained lately, the long hours at work taking a toll on our time together. And yet, despite the distance that's grown between us, I can't shake the feeling that she's slipping further and further away. Lost in my thoughts, I'm startled when Maria appears in the doorway, a mischievous glint in her eyes. "Got a minute, Jacob?" she asks, a knowing smile playing at the corners of her lips. I nod, curiosity piqued by her sudden appearance. "What's up?" Agnes holds out her phone, the screen displaying a text message from Valentine. "Looks like someone's got plans for Valentine's Day," she says, a teasing lilt to her voice. I glance at the message, my heart sinking at the sight of Valentine's name. "A hike with Liam," I mutter, disbelief coloring my words. Agnes nods, her expression sympathetic. "I know it's not what you were hoping for, but maybe it'll be good for you guys to spend some time together," she suggests, her tone gentle. I force a smile, grateful for Agnes's attempt at optimism. "Yeah, maybe you're right," I reply, though the bitterness in my voice betrays my true feelings. As Agnes leaves me alone with my thoughts, I can't help but wonder why Valentine would choose to spend Valentine's Day with someone else. Is our relationship really in such dire straits that she'd rather be hiking with her friend than sharing a romantic dinner with me? With a heavy sigh, I push aside my doubts and return to the chaos of the kitchen, determined to drown out the nagging voice of uncertainty that threatens to consume me. But deep down, I can't shake the feeling that Valentine's unexpected invitation is just the beginning of a much larger unraveling, one that will test the very foundation of our relationship. The afternoon wears on, the relentless clatter of pots and pans providing a backdrop to the turmoil brewing within me. With each passing hour, the weight of Valentine's unexpected invitation grows heavier, a constant reminder of the distance that's grown between us. As I work, my thoughts drift back to our relationship, the late nights at the restaurant, the missed dinners, the whispered arguments that seem to echo in the recesses of my mind. Despite my best efforts to push them aside, doubts gnaw at the edges of my consciousness, threatening to consume me. "Hey, Jacob, you okay?" comes Agnes' voice from beside me, her concern evident in the furrow of her brow. I force a smile, though it feels more like a grimace. "Yeah, just thinking," I reply, the weight of my words heavy in the air between us. Agnes studies me for a moment, her gaze searching mine for answers. "About Valentine?" she asks, her tone gentle. I nod, unable to hide the bitterness in my voice. "Yeah, about Valentine," I admit, the words tasting like ash on my tongue. Agnes' expression softens, sympathy evident in her eyes. "I'm sorry, Jacob. I know this isn't easy for you," she says, her words a silent acknowledgement of the pain I'm feeling. I offer her a grateful smile, though it feels hollow. "Thanks, Agnes," I reply, though the gratitude rings false in my ears. As the afternoon wears on, the doubts and discontent that have plagued me all day refuse to be silenced. With each passing minute, the distance between Valentine and me feels insurmountable, a gaping chasm that threatens to swallow us whole. And as I prepare to leave work for the day, the weight of uncertainty heavy on my shoulders, I can't shake the feeling that our relationship is teetering on the edge of a precipice, one wrong step away from tumbling into the abyss. The evening sun cast a warm golden glow through the windows of our apartment. As I step inside, my mind still heavy with the weight of the day's doubts and discontent. But as I glance around the familiar space, a new sense of purpose stirs within me. Tonight will be different. With renewed determination, I set about preparing for the romantic evening I have planned for Valentine. The kitchen becomes my sanctuary, the clatter of pots and pans a comforting symphony as I lose myself in the familiar rhythm of cooking. First, I gather the ingredients: seared scallops, her favorite steak done to perfection, and a rich chocolate mousse for dessert. Each dish is a labor of love, meticulously crafted to win back Valentine's affection. As I work, Agnes appears in the doorway, her curiosity evident in the quirk of her eyebrow. "What's all this?" she asks, a teasing smile playing at the corners of her lips. I glance up, a smile tugging at my own lips. "A surprise for Valentine," I reply, unable to contain the excitement in my voice. Agnes' smile widens, her eyes twinkling with amusement. "Well, someone's feeling romantic," she teases, her tone light. I chuckle, though the sound feels forced. "Just trying to make things right," I admit, the weight of my words heavy in the air between us. Agnes' expression softens, sympathy evident in her gaze. "I'm sure she'll appreciate it," she says, her words a silent reassurance. With Agnes' encouragement, I throw myself into the preparations with renewed fervor, each dish a testament to the love I still feel for Valentine, despite the distance that's grown between us. And as the evening wears on, the apartment is transformed into a sanctuary of romance. Candles flicker, roses adorn the table, and the scent of cooking fills the air. Tonight, I'm determined to show Valentine just how much she means to me, to prove that our love is worth fighting for. But deep down, a nagging voice whispers in the recesses of my mind, a reminder that even the most carefully laid plans can unravel in the face of uncertainty. And as I wait anxiously for Valentine's return, the weight of doubt hangs heavy in the air, threatening to overshadow the romance I've worked so hard to create. The anticipation builds as the clock ticks past the agreed-upon time, each minute stretching into an eternity as I wait anxiously for Valentine's return. But as the hours drag on and the evening wears thin, it becomes increasingly apparent that I'll be dining alone. With a heavy heart, I take a seat at the table, the flickering candlelight casting eerie shadows across the empty plates before me. The scent of the meticulously prepared meal hangs heavy in the air, a bitter reminder of the romance that's been replaced by solitude. As I pick at my food, the silence of the apartment weighs heavily on my shoulders, the absence of Valentine a gaping void that threatens to swallow me whole. But even as I try to push aside the disappointment and frustration, a sense of resentment simmers beneath the surface, poisoning the air between us. Suddenly, Agnes' voice breaks through the silence, her concern evident in the furrow of her brow as she enters the room. "Hey, Jacob, is everything okay?" she asks, her tone gentle. I force a smile, though it feels more like a grimace. "Yeah, just waiting for Valentine," I reply, the bitterness in my voice impossible to hide. Agnes' expression softens, sympathy evident in her gaze. "I'm sorry, Jacob. I know this isn't easy for you," she says, her words a silent acknowledgement of the pain I'm feeling. I nod, grateful for Agnes' understanding, though the weight of her sympathy only serves to deepen the sense of isolation that surrounds me. As the night wears on and the apartment grows quiet, I'm left alone with my thoughts, the emptiness of the evening a stark reminder of the distance that's grown between Valentine and me. As the night deepens and Valentine's absence stretches on, a sense of unease settles over me like a heavy blanket. I check my phone compulsively, hoping for a message, a sign that she's on her way home. But each passing minute only adds to the growing dread that gnaws at the edges of my mind. Finally, A notification lights up the screen and I eagerly swipe it open, hoping for some reassurance. But the message that greets me sends a chill down my spine. You've been gone a while. Should I start worrying? I read aloud, the words heavy with concern and frustration. Agnes appears at my side, her brow furrowed in worry. Who's that from? She asks, her tone laced with concern. I show her the message, my heart pounding in my chest. It's from Valentine, I reply, the worry evident in my voice. Agnes studies the message for a moment, her expression troubled. That doesn't sound good, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I nod, unable to shake the sense of foreboding that settles over me. I know. She's never been this late before, I admit, the worry twisting in my gut. As the minutes tick by, more messages trickle in, each one more unsettling than the last. Got distracted. Found something weird in the woods. I'll tell you about it when I get there. Reads one, its vague and cryptic tone sending a shiver down my spine. What could she have found in the woods? Agnes asks, her voice barely a whisper. I shake my head, the worry and frustration bubbling to the surface. I have no idea, but something doesn't feel right, I reply, the fear evident in my voice. As the night wears on and Valentina's messages grow increasingly erratic, I'm left alone with my thoughts, the sense of unease weighing heavily on my mind. And as I wait anxiously for her return, a nagging voice whispers in the back of my mind, warning me that something sinister lurks just beyond the edge of my understanding. As the night deepens, the apartment takes on an unsettling aura, the once familiar surroundings now tinged with an air of foreboding. I find myself pacing the dimly lit rooms, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on me like a suffocating blanket. The silence is deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of floorboards beneath my feet. Each sound sends a shiver down my spine, a reminder of the eerie stillness that has settled over the apartment like a shroud. Suddenly, Anne's voice pierces the silence, her tone laced with concern as she enters the room. Jacob, is everything all right? She asks, her brow furrowed in worry. I force a smile, though it feels more like a grimace. Yeah, just on edge, I guess, I reply, the tension in my voice palpable. Agnes studies me for a moment, her gaze unwavering. You're not the only one, she says softly, her words a silent acknowledgement of the unease that permeates the air. As the night wears on, the apartment becomes a battleground of unsettling occurrences. Shadows dance in the corners of my vision. Objects shift and move of their own accord, and a chill settles over the room despite the warmth of the radiator. With each passing minute, the sense of unease intensifies, a creeping dread that coils in the pit of my stomach. And as I confront the inexplicable phenomena unfolding around me, I can't shake the feeling that something dark and sinister is lurking just beyond the edges of my perception. But amidst the chaos, one thing remains constant: Valentina's absence. Her strange messages and delayed return weigh heavily on my mind, a constant reminder of the uncertainty that hangs over our relationship like a shadow. And as I stand alone in the darkness, the sense of isolation grows, the chilling reminder that in the face of the unknown, even the strongest bonds can falter. As the night wears on and the eerie occurrences in the apartment escalate, I find myself unable to ignore the sense of dread that grips me. With each passing moment, the tension in the air becomes palpable, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on me like a heavy cloak. With Agnes by my side, we navigate the chilling atmosphere, our steps hesitant as we confront the unknown together. What do you think is causing all of this? Agnes asks, her voice barely above a whisper, her eyes wide with apprehension. I shake my head, unable to offer a comforting answer. I don't know, Agnes, I'd reply, the words heavy with uncertainty. But whatever it is, it's not of this world. As we move through the apartment, The sense of unease grows, each shadow seeming to loom larger, each creak of the floorboards echoing like a distant scream. And amidst the chaos, Valentina's absence looms large, her strange behavior and cryptic messages a haunting presence in the back of my mind. Suddenly, a chilling whisper cuts through the silence, sending a shiver down my spine. "Did you hear that?" Agnes asks, her voice trembling. I nod, my heart pounding in my chest. "I heard it," I reply, my voice barely audible over the sound of my own fear. With each passing moment, the line between reality and nightmare blurs, the apartment itself seeming to pulse with an unseen energy. And as I confront the inexplicable phenomena unfolding around me, I realize that the only way to confront the unknown is to face it head-on, no matter the cost. As the night reaches its harrowing climax, the apartment is engulfed in a maelstrom of supernatural chaos. Shadows dance, objects levitate, and a bone-chilling cold permeates the air, leaving me grappling with the terrifying realization that I'm facing something beyond comprehension. With Agnes at my side, we navigate the onslaught of paranormal activity, our fear a tangible presence in the air between us. "What's happening to Valentina?" Maria asks, her voice laced with concern as we huddle together in the darkness. I shake my head, my mind reeling with unanswered questions. "I don't know, Ans," I reply, my voice barely above a whisper. "But whatever it is, it's not human." As we confront the malevolent force that has taken hold of the apartment, I'm filled with a sense of dread unlike anything I've ever known. With each passing moment, the barrier between reality and nightmare grows thinner, until it feels as though we're teetering on the edge of oblivion. And then, in a moment of horrifying clarity, the truth dawns on me. Valentina is no longer herself. The entity that has possessed her is something ancient, something malevolent, and it will stop at nothing to consume everything in its path. As I struggle to come to terms with this horrifying realization, Maria's voice breaks through the chaos, her tone urgent. "We need to do something, Jacob," she says, her eyes wide with fear. "We can't let this thing win." With a nod of determination, I steel myself for the battle ahead, knowing that the fate of not just Valentina, but of everything I hold dear, hangs in the balance. And as we confront the entity head-on, I'm filled with a sense of resolve unlike anything I've ever known. But even as we fight, I can't shake the feeling that the true battle lies within, a battle against fear, against doubt, against the darkness that threatens to consume us all. And as the first light of dawn breaks over the horizon, casting its golden glow across the ravaged apartment, I'm left grappling with the aftermath of a night that will haunt me forever. But amidst the wreckage, amidst the uncertainty, there's a glimmer of hope, a hope that even in the face of unspeakable evil, love will always prevail.